The Secrets of Disney is brought to you by the Star Quest Production Network and is made possible by our many generous patrons. If you'd like to support the podcast, please visit sqpn.com/give.
Ladies and gentlemen.
What's there, Mama?
10,000 years will give you such a crick in the neck.
How do you do?
How do you do what?
Show me the smile.
If you can't say something nice, don't say nothing at all.
Very nice. You can sit by me.
Everything's so wonderful.
Come on, get up. Come on, get up.
Where are we going?
Up to Neverland.
You must kiss me.
Excuse me?
Please, princess.
One kiss.
Unless you beg for more.
Hi there, and welcome to another episode of The Secrets of Disney, podcast about all things Disney, we hope, anyway. This is Deborah, one of your hostesses, and joining me today, I have Lisa, and I have David.
Hello.
Hey, great to be with you.
Yes, and we are going to talk about food today. So I have a very important, very monumental question to ask you all. And it means the difference between, whether or not life on this planet will exist, which is, are you a sweet or savory person?
Gentlemen first.
Savory.
Yeah, me too. You know what? I'm savory with one exception when it comes to Disney, and I'll share that later on, but I always will go for savory snack first.
Me too. I see. And the reason I asked that question is it was put to me like 15 years ago by a friend of mine. She's like, there are only two types of people in the world: people who love sweet things as a snack and people who love savory, and you have to be on the right side. And she was a savory person. So I was like, no, okay. And I am actually a savory. So we have three savories.
Well, I'll say, I will admit that I would be a sweet person, but I have like that whole like getting old and needing to watch my sweets thing, and I'm constantly battling it. So I've trained myself to like savory.
I spent 10 years cooking for myself as a bachelor, so I'm used to no flavor, no sugar, no sweet whatsoever.
No flavor.
Low bar.
Low bar. Yeah, I do like my sweets, and I was thinking about this because you're talking about 20 years of like eating Disney food on probably a weekly basis. So I'm like, what did I used to eat all the time? What were my go-to snacks? Because that's what we're going to talk about today is some all things food in a way, but also our favorite snacks. And before I get started, the inspiration for this whole episode came from this week as we're recording it. Disney reopened a restaurant, reimagined a restaurant in Epcot. And it's kind of near and dear to my heart because they made what used to be the Liberty Inn at Epcot.
Love that place.
To be honest, I never really ate there very much when it was Liberty Inn because it was a hamburger. And when you're in Epcot, it's the World Showcase, that you wanted something maybe a little more exotic, like you go to Japan and get some udon or
Morocco.
Morocco. So you didn't really want to go to the United States and get a burger because that sounded ridiculous. But they reimagined it. They closed it down last year and reimagined it and just opened it. And I was super excited because they kind of didn't mention it when they're like, oh, we're going to close and it's going to be a barbecue place. That they didn't tell anybody until a couple months ago that it was going to be a Muppets themed barbecue place. And I have been in love with the Muppets since I was 4. And my little Muppet heart was just beating wildly because it's called the Regal Eagle. And
that is
that's awesome. I was wondering if it was gonna be Sweetums barbecue or something like that.
Yeah, no, it's the Regal Eagle. Salute to all things American, but mostly barbecue. And it's so it's the whole idea is that it's a barbecue cook-off with different Muppets adding their own special barbecue recipe like Janice and Bobo Bear, and there's a little Kermit in there and maybe some Fozzie, but it's I guess everybody says it's a little understated for Muppetness, but it's still Muppet quality. But it's a barbecue place, and they say the food's really good. So
what's the name of it?
The Regal Eagle.
Okay. I'm gonna pull up the menu and figure out what I'm gonna order.
Oh, well, the funny thing is, obviously with the sorry, I'm stumbling on my words. I'm thinking barbecue and I'm salivating. Lisa, I know you said you were a vegetarian.
Right. So that's what I'm checking to see if there's anything there that I can.
They do have a jackfruit burger.
Oh, yes. That's awesome.
Yeah. So, and we are going to probably mention right now, I guess it's a good time as any, that when we're talking about Disney, we also have to mention that Disney does really well with accommodating food requests or special diets. And if you go to any Disney place, and with the exception of maybe the turkey leg cart, you will find something vegetarian or vegan on the menu.
And they're so good about asking you, like, the minute that you step in the place, if you've got any food allergies, and really watching that too, which is, I travel often to Disney with a nephew who has severe peanut allergies. So I love that.
Yeah. And in fact, I tell people, I'm like, if you have a food allergy, because I used to work fast food at Disney for a couple of years before I left Orlando. And one of the things that they train you on is like, okay, if somebody comes up to a food allergy, you take it very seriously, because nothing ruins a vacation faster than ending up in an ambulance in anaphylactic shock. So
Goofy's a fully qualified EMT. It's okay.
But yeah, I mean, that's why they keep it, take it so seriously. And it's any kind of food allergy. Like, I think the strangest one, or the most unusual one I heard, not that this is unusual, is a woman who is allergic to any kind of preservative in her food. Which, yeah, that's a hard ticket to sell when you're at Disney and you're feeding 40,000 people, and a lot of their food is has preservatives in it because of the sheer volume of food that they serve. So that one was a tricky one.
Hard to be in America.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you can't, half the stuff on the shelf anymore is loaded with preservatives. So it was interesting. I can't remember what she ordered, because it was like, you can have salad.
So another great thing, I mean, when we're talking about Epcot versus Disneyland, is the whole fact that you could order a really nice craft draft beer at this place too. So,
oh, yeah. Yeah,
so I'll be having a beer with my jackfruit burger.
Yes.
I'm looking at the menu on the Disney app, and it's really nice that they have so many drill downs for when you're looking at food choices on these apps. They've got, every section, but there's specifically a plant-based section, and then they've got all the allergy-friendly things listed too, specifically that way. So
that is great. Yeah. Yeah. And you bring up another point, which we'll have to talk about some other time. We should have a drink episode.
Drinking at Disney.
Because that's the drink around the world is the thing that adults like to do at Disney, especially young adults, because every country has their specialty drink, and America's specialty drink is actually craft beers.
Yeah.
Out of all that.
It should be.
As it should be, right?
As it should be.
But, if you go to Japan, you can usually get some sake, and we'll talk about drinks some other time, because that's a whole different category. Because we're supposed to be talking about food. Go ahead, David.
Right. No, so it's a different kind of small world after all.
I have some real war stories from Epcot that are probably not. They are truly secrets of Disney, and I would probably have to warn people, like, you shouldn't do this when you go there, because this could happen. But oh, heck. We'll talk about because there is a pub over at the UK Pavilion, and people end up there after drinking around the world, and it gets pretty rowdy over there. like any good English pub should, apparently. But that's, again, we'll have to tackle that some other time. But we're going to talk about food and snacks, and specifically. So we already talked about the new restaurant, and I had emailed both Lisa and David and said, oh, when it came out, I have like a group chat of my Disney friends, some former cast member and some current cast members, and I'm like, oh, I can't wait to eat at this place, and also Space 2020 is opening, and also a creperie in France is opening, and also it was like, and there's about 4 or 5 new restaurants just this year that are opening, mostly in Epcot, but there are a few other places, and I'm just can't wait for any of it. I don't have probably enough time or money to eat at all of them. But when I go in October, we'll see.
When you go, Deb, do you typically like make a reservation and go to restaurants, or do you snack cart it, or do you do like a mix of the two?
We do a mix of the two. My current Disney traveling partner, and it makes me sad. Actually, it's Sherry, and it makes me because she's not a foodie. I have to remind her that I might need to eat. She could go all day without eating. She might get hangry, but she's like, oh yeah, food. I'm like, oh yeah, food. But when she and I went to Disney in September, she definitely has a sweet tooth, so we had a lot of snacks. And then she's not a big eater. And so going to like an all-you-can-eat or going to a place that has a big portion, it was a waste of money for her.
Mm.
And I'd be like, oh, are you going to finish that? Here, let me have that. But yeah, we also, I don't want to ignore David's plea because he has children.
Yes.
One of the things that we did a lot was order off the kids' menu. And maybe we'll talk about what that means here in a little bit. But before we do that, I want to ask you, what do you like to snack on then? What's your go-to snack? It can be Disney or it can be just your go-to snack.
You can go first, David. Are you thinking or?
I'm thinking like my go-to snacks are pretty boring. I'm like raw almonds.
They have the best almonds, but they're not raw at Disney. They're candy coated.
Yeah,
there's those. They're so good. I could go because you can smell them like a pavilion over, and you're like, yes, I need me some candy coated almonds or cashews.
Or like, well, I don't know if it's really a snack, but my family, I came from a Iowa farm family, and it was actually pretty normal to hog farms, especially. It was normal just to have a plate of bacon off to the side.
Wow, really?
Like, yeah, like that was bacon from the farm. They knew what the hog's name was, So it's like this. So
really, so you're like, I'm having a little bit of Bessie right now.
Pretty much, yeah. Like I'm having bacon. What else?
Just bacon.
Just bacon.
I gotta go straight up like popcorn. I mean, if I'm just gonna talk about a snack that I have at home a lot that I love having in the park too, and you talk about how you can smell something from a little ways away. I'm convinced they have some kind of special technology at Disney to make the popcorn smell linger, at a further distance. Because that's, that just gets you in there for the popcorn. And they've got that whole popcorn bucket thing going on.
Oh yeah. The whole, if you're not familiar, Disney has popcorn buckets, and you can get like just a Disney themed popcorn bucket, but they also have special themed popcorn buckets, especially around the holidays, that are like, last year's was a Christmas tree that lit up, and the bucket itself was like $20, and then you get a little popcorn in there, but you can refill it for $2 a pop after that. So it's actually a good deal if you eat a lot of popcorn. But I do love my popcorn. In fact, that's one of I'm like, oh, my go-to snacks at Disney are kind of boring too, because I do love their popcorn. Epcot has, it's still there, a sour cream and chive popcorn that was absolutely great. They also had maple flavored popcorn, and what was the other one? There was like a not a cheddar cheese, but some other kind of cheese. So they have their gourmet popcorns over there, kettle corn and all that kind of stuff too. I guess I have to go also with the Dole Whip, which is a sweet thing.
The Dole Whip. That's such a classic. And I mean, so much so that now it's like they have the, the Dole Whip line of clothing that's at the parks, and you can
and air fresheners and magnets, and it's and they expanded at Disney World. They expanded it now to you don't have to go to Magic Kingdom to get it. You can go to the Polynesian, and actually all of the theme parks have it now. In different locations, Dole Whip, but you can go to the Polynesian Village Resort, so you don't have to go into the theme park. You can go and have 24 hours a day. They have Dole Whip available, which is awesome.
Are you like Dole Whip original, like Pineapple Girl, or do you like the flavored ones? Yeah.
No, I haven't tried very many flavored ones. Although, if we had to go, and then I was like, wow, maybe I eat a lot of sweet stuff too. Over in Magic Kingdom, there's a place called Storybook Sweets, and they have what they call a Peter Pan float, and it's lime Dole Whip with Sprite.
I'm not feeling that so much.
You're not feeling that?
David, would you eat that?
I'm still looking up what Dole Whip. I just realized I found out 2 seconds ago what Dole Whip was. I'm like, I'm not going to say I don't know what it is. I'm like, Google just told me right now.
What did Google tell you? Because I forgot. We should probably define what Dole Whip is.
Dole Whip is a dairy-free dessert made from pumpkin-flavored dry mix that's combined with water and pumped out of a soft-serve machine.
Pumpkin flavored or pineapple flavored?
Pineapple.
Okay.
I meant to say pineapple.
I was like, wow, pumpkin. What? Okay.
Maybe for the fall, there's a pumpkin spice Dole Whip.
There is a pumpkin spice.
Oh my.
Yeah, and I didn't know if it was a Dole Whip or if it's just an ice cream, but they did have a pumpkin pie ice cream cone last
Let us
Halloween.
hope that it is not a Dole Whip, because that just sounds nasty. Pumpkin Dole Whip,
I know.
I'm classic, straight up. So
some things should not be pumpkin spiced.
And David,
also
just so you know, at the Dole Whip thing, it started, I think, in California at one of our favorite rides, which is the Tiki Room, which is where all the birds sing words and the flowers croon. And outside of the Tiki Room, as you're waiting to go in, there's a stand that has the Dole Whip for sale. But often the line for the Dole Whip is actually longer than the line for the ride. And it's become very classic and a much desired treat.
And they have a California twist over there that hasn't caught on in Orlando yet, which is they buy and I am going to mispronounce it, so please bear with me. It's the Tijan seasoning. It's like a Mexican fruit seasoning that's spicy. It has a little chili on it. And so you can buy that at the Dole Whip place and put it on your Dole Whip. So you get a spicy and sweet Dole Whip.
Wow, that's a nice mix.
I tried it. I bought my own little, because you can buy little packets of it at any grocery store. I think I bought it at Walmart. And so I took it to Walt Disney World, and I got to say I'm not a fan. And then Sherry brought a plum flavored mix-in from Hawaii that was Asian that they like to put on their ice cream. And I got to say I wasn't a fan. And I guess I'm a little more classic to just eat that straight up.
So I have to tell you though, did I share with you, I think on email, my new favorite go-to snack when I'm at Disneyland, and I will walk out of my way to get it.
Oh, what's that?
It is, I'm going to kill the name of it, but the Felucian garden spread. It's at Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, and it is at the Docking Bay 7 Food and Cargo. Mm-hmm. And what this is it's actually plant-based. It's kefta. And so basically it's kefta with hummus and tomato, cucumber, relish, and pita. So it's actually the Impossible brand veggie meatballs that are made of a pea protein and soy. And so it sounds very like new agey, but it's so funny because I was looking this up on Wikipedia.
Wookie.
Which is Wikipedia. Yes, it's Wikipedia, not Wikipedia. I love it.
Yeah, Wikipedia. And it's the Star Wars wiki, and so it actually tells you, like in Star Wars lingo, like who created it, what the plants that are used, which is some Star Wars plants, and then it says it's edible by the Arteriodac, the Felucians, and humans. So.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, wow. most of the food there does have a backstory, even though you can kind of guess what it is. It's like, oh yeah, that's eggs. But no, they'll have a whole backstory of what kind of eggs, fantasy description of the food there, and it's fantastic. They try to keep it as out of this world as possible, so that you get something special when you go to Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah, super yummy. I definitely recommend it.
I'll have to try it next time I go to Galaxy's Edge, because I tend to not get the vegetarian fare. I tend to go for the full meat experience. And it's, I'm like, ooh, a plate of bacon? You bet.
Yeah.
This is like the anti-bacon.
I know.
It still sounds good.
It's actually really good.
If I put bacon and that on the same plate, what would happen?
I don't know. You'd probably really like it. I mean,
yeah, I was wondering if there'd be like some kind of like fight, or the plate would break in half or something. You see like two opposite sides.
I'm just gonna say that you have to go on Wikipedia first and find out like the Wikipedia version of bacon, and call it by that instead of bacon.
Wow. Wow. I wonder because bacon, actually candied bacon, has started to become a thing at specific places around the park, that you can go get like a specific form of gourmet bacon. I think Magic Kingdom has a place for that, and I want to say Galaxy's Edge. You could, I'm imagining it, but I thought you could get it at Olga's Cantina, like some sort of galactic bacon thing. But maybe I'm wrong. I'll have to look that up again. But bacon itself is like a hot commodity, and
as it should be.
You're trendy, David.
Yes, and it's funny because food trends, they're just, it's interesting what comes in and out of fashion, and it stays at Disney, and then it goes.
And I love those, the picture that you sent us of the cupcake. Speaking of trends and fashions, the Instagram cupcake thing that's going on at Disney, that one that you sent us was so cute, Deb.
Well, that's the thing, is like a trend in travel, but also a trend in food is Instagrammable food.
Mm-hmm.
So, Disney has hopped full force on that bandwagon, and they have come up with the cutest food ever. And I did send Lisa and David a little picture of a Winnie the Pooh cupcake. It's like a honeycomb kind of cupcake, if I remember correctly, and it was yellow and just cute. I'm sure that cupcake's like $7 or $8, but it's still like I would buy it.
It's a cupcake experience.
It is a cupcake experience. I went into Main Street Bakery, and they had a Mickey Mouse like shaped donut. So it's like 4 donuts in one, and that thing was like $6 or $7 if I remember correctly. And I bought that, and I Instagrammed that. Like, here's my Mickey Mouse on Main Street donut.
What's your feeling about churros?
Churros. Oh, sorry.
Yes, do you like churros?
Now I'm hungry. Oh yeah, that's my wife's family's Mexican American medicine. So we have churros. Pretty much anything of that kind of cuisine. I am totally down for that.
I like churros. I had a lot of churros when I was in Spain on the Camino. And so I do like churros and chocolate. But the funny thing is, when I go to Disney, I don't think about it, but I do have a churro fan. She's all about the churros. And if Sherry were here, and I kind of wish she were, she would talk about, they are a big thing at Disneyland in Hong Kong. Like, they have multiple flavors of churros. Not that Disney World.
Yeah, that's the way it is out here,
yeah.
too.
Well, and can you, I don't know if you've looked at the flavors of churros, and I don't really know what they are because I don't go get them. So what kind of churro flavors are we talking about here?
They're frequently seasonal. So they definitely had like the Christmas flavored ones. And I'm pretty sure that there actually probably were pumpkin ones during the fall. So I'm looking up really quick. I'll say that's one of the things that I always think they like look and smell really good, and I won't let myself eat them unless it's something very special. So, again, trying to watch the sugar, this total bummer.
Yeah, I know. But one more snack I got to talk about, and this is a very plain one that you can get anywhere. I'm telling you can get anywhere, but there's something special about it at Disney. The pretzels and cheese. So they have like the
Oh, yeah.
ubiquitous, like, and they're Mickey Mouse that you can get like regular pretzels, but you can also get Mickey Mouse shaped pretzels. And then the what they call the yellow plastic cheese, which is, you know, I don't know what kind of cheese it is. It's supposed to be probably nacho, I imagine, but
You don't want to know. Just call it cheese.
I'm not so sure it can be categorized as cheese.
Processed cheese food.
Yes, but it is
Pasteurized
so,
dairy product.
It is so good. And then they have these other pretzels, and I know you can buy them in the freezer section, but they are filled with cream cheese, like sweet pretzels or jalapeno cheddar cheese, and those are also one of our, you know, go-to snacks too. Is the cream cheese one is phenomenal.
I think we're going to have to issue a warning that people should eat before they listen to this.
Well,
I'm going to eat after this podcast.
And the funny thing is like, I know I saw it on Facebook today, but Lisa just sent me this article about a guy in California who lost 150 pounds on what he would probably call the Disney diet.
Yeah, is such a great story.
Do you want to? Do you want me to talk about it, or do you want to talk about it?
No, share it. And I mean, I have the article pulled up in front of me, but
yeah, we'll definitely put the article in our links, show notes. So basically, this guy was 400 pounds, so he's not very healthy. And the doctor's like, you need to do something. So his wife suggested they go to Disneyland and walk. And he have whatever he wanted to eat as long as he kept it, you know, portion control. And so he ended up just falling in love with Disney. And it looks like in this article, he's a houseman, so he works for housekeeping. But, you know, all of that walking around, and then he decided to work for Disney, and he lost 150 pounds with daily long walks and eating anything on the menu as long as he kept it under control.
yeah, it says that they had Fitbits, which is really like one of my favorite things to do when I go to Disney is track my steps and, you know, try to get over. I mean, we've been up over 20,000 several times when we've gone to Disney, because it's just, you end up like long stretches of walking from the parking lot and all that. But I love that. This guy had a couple of near misses with like very serious, like near death experiences before. I think he was actually given the last rites by a Catholic priest. It says in the article. And his first days that he went, they only walked like 1 mile. That was all he could do. But I love that the end of the story even says that he earned his bachelor's degree and is now hoping to get his master's degree through the Disney tuition assistance program.
Yeah. That's another, not necessarily a secret, but I actually earned a master's degree because of Disney. They paid for my master's degree in security management.
Wow. We need to do a show on education and the college program, because I think that would be a really cool
I did
thing.
the college program twice, so I can totally talk about that experience. It was probably...
Write it on our list of topics.
I know. And then, you know, it's fun to hear people talk about, you should talk about the ink and paint girls. I saw that on your Facebook today. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that might take me a little more research. I know about them. I don't know probably as much as that book says, but if you have ideas about what you'd like us to potentially have for a show topic, we would love to hear them. And this is where I shamelessly plug our email, or you can even if you see our link on SQPN Facebook, or if you see us and Lisa has it on her Facebook and I'm trolling, then we will take note of that, and we can definitely keep that in mind, and it might be a good topic for a show at some point. But before we do, we should continue to talk about food, because
I want to know what David's kids would eat. If you go to Disneyland, would you guys, or Disney, would you bring food in with you, or are your kids adventuresome eaters, or what would they choose?
Oh, they're terribly picky. I've the first couple minutes of the podcast, I was taking notes of the Regal Eagle. I've already sent it to my wife. Because my kids they like my wife's homemade fried rice sopa, or they like mac and cheese, and they like chicken nuggets and fries and popcorn and sweets. That's pretty much yeah. So
kids.
I already found a lot of things at the Regal Eagle's looking pretty good, because it has a number of those things. And
I was gonna say Disney has really not just the whole chicken nuggets and French fries, which they have. Like that's everywhere. You can either get a burger, chicken nuggets, French fries, mac and cheese, or spaghetti or a hot dog. It depends on where you're going. So they have that kid-friendly food that, if your kid will eat nothing but mac and cheese, they have that. Or chicken nuggets. They have that almost everywhere. But they also...
And they would totally eat that cupcake.
Yes, they would totally eat that cupcake.
Totally.
But they also have what they rolled out something about 10 years ago called the Kids Check menu. And basically it's a little healthier varieties of food. So smaller portions of maybe the main entree. So maybe if you're going to like a sit-down restaurant that has meatloaf on the menu, they'll have a kids portion, a Mickey Mouse shaped kids portion of the meatloaf, and then like a side of broccoli, like a kid's side of broccoli or a kid's salad, or you can choose grapes or apples or carrots, and then milk or water and not soda. I mean, you can choose soda. If your kids are dying for a soda, then you can choose that. But they usually push the healthier alternatives for that. So Disney stepped up to the plate with
milk. That's the one thing we've never let them have is soda. Because like they already have everything else. We're like, okay, just not soda.
Yeah, well, and then they have you can order off the kids menu too. Like I said, Sherry and I ordered off the kids menu a few times last time we were there, and you're saving a little bit of money too, but you're also not eating, until you're gross, until you feel like you're, you got the meat sweats going on.
You got to save room for the Dole Whip.
Right. You got to parse out your food. I kid you not, when Sherry and I were planning our trip last September, because I'm a foodie, obviously, I have a spreadsheet that is 7 pages long and I scoured every theme park's food menu because it's available online. And I picked out the things that I wanted potentially to eat in that theme park for that day with the price.
Nice.
So that I knew how much to save money for.
Can you do the kids menus can you order off the kids menu in like a sit down restaurant too? Or is that just like in the takeout thing? Because I know like if you're walking up to a counter to take food away, then they're not going to necessarily look askance at you, but
they have it and this is probably the honest answer, which is it depends on the management of that particular restaurant. I have ordered off a kid's meal at Narcoossee's, which is a really fancy steak and seafood place at the Grand Floridian, and they had like filet medallions and like a baked potato, kid-side baked potato. This was 10-15 years ago, and they let me have it. They let me order off the kids' menu. So I think specific restaurants will say, yeah, that's fine, but there's also places that will say, we're going to we're going to have to charge you a little extra for that for whatever reason. You should know better because you're an adult.
Yeah.
And you should know better. I did order off the kids menu one side when I went to the Coral Reef last year, or 2 years ago. I ordered a kid's salad, which was $3, which I didn't want to pay $8 for a Caesar salad, so I ordered the kids salad and it was fine. And I think for the most part, you can get the kids menu. And I was trying to talk last November. I went to Disney again as part of a business trip, and I was talking to the person going with me to Disney. I'm like, can we go to Skipper Cantina? And I went with 2 women who had very, very specific needs. They had bariatric surgery, both of them, and so they can't eat more than like a kid's meal. Like a kid's meal really does, they can't even finish it. They have not much of a expanded stomach. And so we're like, oh, if we're going any place, we have to make sure that the kids' meal is exactly what they wanted. And we found the Skipper Cantina, which is the Jungle Cruise themed restaurant in the Magic Kingdom, has a better kids menu than I think the adult menu is. Like, oh, I want to order off the kids menu. I had picked out 3 things off the kids menu because they really have an expanded one where it was like, oh, a little of chicken and this and a little of, the curry stew, a kid-sized portion of that. And I'm like, oh, that's actually what I want.
I feel like we should mention to people too about like planning your dining ahead, especially if you know that there's a particular restaurant that you want to go to. We have a trip coming up in April with family. We've already made our reservations because you can't necessarily just walk into some of these places, especially in the parks. If they're sit down, you need to make some plans.
Wow.
Is it 30 days in advance?
It's more
Deborah?
than that. It is, depending on the restaurant, it's 180 days in advance for Disney World, or 160. I'd have to look up specifically. But okay, so I used to work for Disney Reservation Center, and this was years ago, probably 20 years ago. And back when you had to call and before you could go online and do this all online. And there are 2 or 3 very popular restaurants that are still there today. And one of them is Cinderella's Royal Table, which is...
Oh, yes. We've never gotten in there.
And that is the Eat in the Castle, at Disney World. Who cares if the food's any good? We just need to eat in the castle. And
just because we're there. Gotcha.
Just because we're there and my kid wants it. And to get that reservation, you literally have to get up as soon as reservations open, the exact number of days out from your reservation, like 120 days out from your reservation, the day you want it, and call at 8 in the morning. And you have to be like the first in line, and they will sell that restaurant out in probably 30 minutes in the first thing in the morning.
So I'm actually looking at the Disneyland FAQs for dining, and it's actually 60 days at Disneyland. You need to do it through the app. So linking your thing. And one thing that I want people to know is you can't just decide you're not going to show up for your reservation, because they actually charge you $10 per person on the reservation if you don't show up. So it can be $40 for a family of 4 if you just decide, we'd rather go on the ride instead. So make sure you cancel.
Well, and one thing that what happened with that, and by the way, it is 180 days at Walt Disney World. But what was happening with that is that people would decide, I'm going to make 3 different reservations and then just choose the one I feel like going to. So they'd take up if they were at Epcot, they'd be like, I have a reservation at Le Cellier. I have a reservation at the Italy restaurant. I have a reservation at Morocco. And then I think I'll just not show up for 2 of those. And so it was becoming a problem. And I think that's why they put that in there, as people would get so involved in whatever they were doing, they forgot they had the reservation or didn't make it on time.
Yeah. So don't make that mistake. You only do it once and then you go, what's that charge on my credit card?
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Yeah. But 180 days you can call for Cinderella's Royal Table. And now it's also one of the more popular ones is Be Our Guest, which is the Beauty and the Beast Castle at Magic Kingdom.
I have been there. Super cool.
It is super cool. And it's very interesting, that place. And then I'm trying to think Chef Mickey's, which is over in the Contemporary, and it's the Mickey Mouse themed dinner. And that fills up relatively quickly as well.
At Disneyland, Blue Bayou, which is the one that's in Pirates of the Caribbean, is a very popular ticket to get. And also the Plaza Inn, the character breakfast there is another one that you want to get in advance.
Yeah.
Get a reservation.
Oh, yeah. But so I have a question for David before we wrap up here, because one of the questions is, with young kids, how do you go to a restaurant, and what's your survival strategy for taking young kids to a restaurant, especially if it's a little pricey?
Well, a rosary is usually involved. This kind of podcast, I can say there's a rosary is usually involved. A little bit of prayer, but seriously, how make sure I answer the question. Like, how do we, what kind of planning is involved? Try to make not just doing the things that we're doing right now, making sure the foods are there that the kids would like. If there's any kind of reservations at all, what kind of bathrooms there are, and sounds like I'm preparing for a gunfight, but always look for exit strategies or something. You always look for an exit vector. It's like, if something, especially when the kids are really young, if you need to get out, or if you need to get out quickly, what's the quickest way or ways out?
Oh, that's funny.
Those are words of total wisdom. And it's funny because when you're in the phase that your kids are in now, you think, oh, that's going to be the case for life. And my kids were such picky eaters when they were little, and they were just rotten in restaurants. And now they both love to cook, and they love all kinds of food. So there's hope, David.
Oh, thank goodness. But it's like, was it a Jason Bourne movie or something like that, where they were just describing about like, have to have your back against the wall, looking for, face the doors and fit, and like, that's us, but it's just for kids. This isn't
What do you let your children, because there's two rules of thumb, and this is maybe more of a sit down than a fast food place, but maybe you do this for fast food places too. Do you order the kids menu, or do you let your children eat off your plate?
We will let them eat however they'll actually eat, but usually we'll always, we order off the kids menu, but if they're going to eat something that's on my plate, like, I will not say no, because I want them to actually eat food, not junk. So yeah, that's the children's menu first, and then eat. Just please eat, for the love of heaven, please eat.
Do they like bacon?
No, they haven't wrapped their head around bacon yet. I'm pretty sure that gene will kick in for my boy soon, but not it will come.
Are they adventure, like, you? I know they don't seem like adventurous, but will they try new foods, or will they be like, no, and like they won't eat it all?
It seems like they're not that. If I ask them to eat anything, they won't try it at all. But if it's there, they're like, I wonder what this is, and they'll try it. So my shtick is not to actually try to. I'll just have something out and see if they're like, I wonder what this is. So don't actually try to make them have anything. Just put it in front of them and see what happens.
I don't know if your boys were like that, Lisa, where they were like that too, where it's like you couldn't force them to eat, but if you just kind of left it there, they'd maybe venture in for
when they were the age that his kids are, they were very, very picky, but then they both went through phases, and one of the most classic ones was the summer of the chicken wings, when my son Eric decided that he not only was going to eat every kind of chicken wing, but needed to buy a chicken wing recipe book and cook. This is like the year of 5th grade.
Oh, wow.
And he made chicken wings like every day for the entire summer, but it was a different flavor every day. So very funny. So yeah, it'll be fun, David, to watch and see what comes for your kids.
Yes. And if we hadn't said before, their ages 4 and 7, which means a lot of unpredictability.
Well, and I'm sure your wife does some. Do you and your wife share the cooking duties, or does your wife, is she pretty good at it?
Oh, she's good at it, but we both work full time, so it's just kind of who has the chance, who has the time to get in front of the kitchen. I can't bake for anything, but if it can be made in a crock pot or if it can be grilled, I'll do it. So
says every guy, every dad out there. But
pretty much.
David, the other thing that will happen, I'll warn you. So you get so used to having your kids eat on the kids menu, which is like half the cost. And then comes the day when especially boys will decide, I'm too cool for the kids menu. And now I need to eat off the grown up menu, or they double up on the kids menu and get 2 kid meals.
Wow.
The day will come.
I still want the toys.
Yes, I would want the toys too, but and has nothing to do with Disney, but McDonald's is bringing back retro toys for the Happy Meal as part of their 40th anniversary of the Happy Meal.
Oh, that'll be fun to see what they bring back.
Yeah, we'll see, but that's not Disney related. Although you can find McDonald's at Disney. I'm not gonna lie, you can have their fries.
Yeah, you can have McDonald's I had McDonald's in France once just to see what a French McDonald's would be like. Yeah, just kind of like you said, you don't just order a burger. If you go to France, eat something else. So
right,
just don't.
It's just surprising, and it's a comfort zone thing, and my parents aren't.
Maybe it's for all the people that are visiting from Europe that want to have McDonald's.
Like McDo, yeah.
And Cluck McDo, and then, well, it's weird because you can have an open-faced ham sandwich and a beer there, which is not a normal McDonald's thing.
Yeah. Well, that's like Swiss. When I went to Switzerland, there was a McFondue and a McRaclette, and so that you could have like a burger with those types of cheese on it, and and in Italy, I can't remember what I ordered, but it was definitely not McDonald's. but I remember going to Florence's McDonald's, which was across from the street from the hotel, and not getting a burger at all, but getting something very Florentine, and I can't remember what it was. It was apparently not worthy of me remembering it. But yes, that's the fun of going to McDonald's in another country. But you can also, speaking of small snacks, is that at Disney, you can definitely not have to go to a counter service restaurant or a sit down restaurant. You could just snack your way through Walt Disney World and find hot snacks and pizza. Oh, they have these egg rolls, spring rolls now. That's all the craze at Walt Disney World. That I had like a pizza egg roll, and they were yummy. They were really good.
Probably also a good time to remind people that you can actually bring food into the park.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
if you want to save a little bit of money, or if you have special needs or a really picky kid that only wants to eat food from home, you can bring stuff in with you. And we also always try to bring water bottles, because that's one big way of saving some money along the way, is bring your own water bottle and refill in the park. I
got to say that if you're going to bring your own food, a couple things to remember. One, you have to cart it around with you, so you might want to get a locker, and they won't allow hard-sided coolers anymore. I think it has to be soft-sided, and I believe there's an ice issue now too. Like, they won't let you bring in a cooler full of ice; that it has to be like a frozen, one of those frozen container, freezer pack kind of things. And you can't bring in glass bottles, and you can't bring in knives, and so there's some, and you can't bring in alcohol. So there are certain things that you cannot bring in, but the sky's the limit on everything else. I will tell you the most interesting thing I saw a family bring in, and I might have mentioned this a couple episodes when I was talking to Sherry about it. But I saw a family from probably India bring in curry chicken in a pot and rice, and out of a Tupperware.
Cool.
And they sat there on the curb, and this was in Disney Hollywood Studios, and they had like the best smelling food ever sitting on the curb in front of Hollywood Studios eating their curry chicken. And that's probably the wildest thing I've ever seen as far as food brought into the park. But it's... Well,
I want our listeners to top that. Everybody tell us what's the best food you ever had when you were at Disney. Yeah. What are your suggestions?
And if you brought in food to Disney, like you were going to go to Disney and you said, I am not spending $20 for a cheeseburger, what would you bring with you? Would you bring, what would be your go-to snack to bring with you to the theme parks? We want to know. And you can send those ideas to us, obviously, through our email, which is disney@sqpn.com. And this would probably be a good time to kind of wrap things up, because you've been listening to us here at the Secrets of Disney on StarQuest Production Networks. And to find all of the stuff, we're going to put some links like to that article we referred to, the guy losing 150 pounds. We might even throw in a couple pictures of cupcakes in there. We'll see.
And Wikipedia.
Yes. Yeah. And then also you can find our previous episodes, and you can send us feedback if you visit sqpn.com/Disney. And you can listen to us there too. You don't have to listen to us on your podcast catcher on your phone. You can listen to us online. And you can also follow us on social media at facebook.com/StarQuestMedia, or on Twitter at SQPN. And again, I want to say it's been a pleasure talking to you all about food. Now we're all going to go eat something, right?
Yep, totally.
And this has been Deborah. My name is Deborah Schaben. If you want to, stalk me on Facebook, I won't know. And I'll let the other two say goodbye to you as well. I usually say the last word. I might tonight. Who knows? But yeah, goodbye, David. Goodbye, Lisa. And ta-ta for now.
Say something.
That was really ambiguous. I am so sorry.
Like should I throw in a line, or should I
David, you're up.
Bon appetit.
Yeah. Well, you think about it, David. I'm Lisa with the husky voice tonight. And you can find me on social media at Lisa Hendey. And especially for people from the West Coast, the best coast, if you have Disney food tips, got a trip planned for next month, so send them over. You can find me on social media at Lisa Hendey.
You can just find me at David Handlos, Handlos, on Twitter, Facebook, and usually I'm just telling dad jokes and coffee jokes all day long. That's about it.
Nice.
Nice. I guess I should tell you my personal handle is actually a Disney handle, and most people misread it. It's DizLP38, so it's DISLP38. Usually I don't do Twitter, but I do Instagram. So you can see my Denver pictures. I went to Denver over the weekend, so you can see those. And I met one of my heroes this weekend. I met Rick Steves, who's the travels with Rick Steves, and Josh, cool. and I fangirled over Josh Gates, who was, somewhere else. But I never got close enough to meet him. But that's all right. Never meet your heroes, I guess. Anyway, but you can follow me on Facebook or anywhere else. And we just want to say ta-ta for now.